If you don't figure out how to make money while you sleep, you'll work until you die, Warren Buffett says. So how can you be certain that your money is working for you? The answer can be found in the 5 Laws of Gold, as highlighted in George Sandewell Clayson's 1926 book, titled The Richest Man in Babylon. Before we begin, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel for more intriguing videos like this, and be sure to watch this video to the end. Therefore, anytime we upload a new video, you will be notified so that you won't miss out on interesting videos from us. Without further ado, let's get started. The story begins with the characters Banser, a chariot builder, and Cobby, a musician. They were the best at their craft, but they were poor and had no money, so they went to seek the counsel and wisdom of their childhood friend Arkad, who had grown extremely wealthy and amassed vast fortunes in stark contrast. Arkad was Babylon's richest man, and despite lavish spending and charitable giving, he seemed to have an infinite supply of gold, and his fortune continued to grow. So Arkad told his 2 friends a story about how he too was once a poor man, a poor scribe who struck a deal with a rich man to learn the secret to wealth accumulation in exchange for his work on a clay inscription. The rich man agreed and gave him a very valuable lesson, saying, "I found the road to wealth when I decided that a portion of everything I earned was mine to keep, and so will you." This is a very powerful lesson, and it's the foundation upon which every wealthy person has built their fortune. Arkad, Babylon's richest man, did not amass his fortune by spending more money than he could afford. He became wealthy by putting aside 1/10 or 10% of his earnings and investing them in ways that would generate more income. This is the first golden rule: set aside 10% of your income for investing. According to the book, gold comes gladly and in increasing quantities to any man who will set aside not less than 1/10 of his earnings to create an estate for his future and the future of his family. This rule is related to the principle of paying yourself first. Rich people understand that paying yourself first is a proactive approach to financial independence. Many people constantly complain about how little money they have. They'll say things like, "No matter what I do, I always have nothing left at the end of the month," or "My job doesn't pay me enough." Although these points are valid, if one examines where their money is going, they will discover that most so-called priorities, such as weekly dinners out or going out every week, are not necessary expenditures at all and take a significant toll on your income statement. So instead, set aside 10% of your paycheck every month before you pay your bills, rent, utilities, mortgage, or Netflix. The sooner you start, the better off you'll be, and the larger your savings and investment funds will become. Not only will you benefit from compounding growth to help your money grow faster, but you will also be less afraid if a major financial crisis occurs, such as a large medical bill, a large car repair, or, in the worst-case scenario, a layoff. The second golden rule is to invest your money. According to the Bible, gold laboreth diligently and contentedly for the wise owner who finds profitable employment for it, multiplying even as the flocks of the field. Money and gold are indeed willing workers. The richest man in Babylon learned early on how money works and how to put his money to work for him. He was able to keep his expenses under control and learn the difference between necessities and luxuries. Many people have difficulty distinguishing between the two. The rule of thumb when it comes to luxuries is simple: if you don't need them, don't buy them. It is that easy. As your savings grow, you can look for profitable, safe investments to put your money into. You can invest your money in a variety of ways, including real estate, stocks, bonds, and businesses. You should think of your money as little soldiers going into battle and returning with a bounty. The more soldiers you have, the more bounty and loot they'll bring back with them. However, before making any major investment, you should be certain about where you're putting your money. Make sound investments, and your money will return in abundance, which brings me to the third law of gold. Seek first advice, or, as I prefer to say, seek wisdom before investing. According to the book, gold clings to the protection of the owner who invested under the advice of wise men in its handling. Look, you worked hard for your money, and you shouldn't lose even a single penny, so why would you put it in the hands of inexperienced investors? This is exactly what many poor and middle-class people do. They invest based on gut feelings or information they overhear from friends, colleagues, or even on TV or radio. What always happens is that they lose their money, or that what they thought was a sound, solid investment turns out to be a scam. It is extremely rare to hear that the investments were successful or that any money was made. The wealthy, on the other hand, seek advice from money management experts. Before making any major investment, just as you would not trust a cook to perform heart surgery on your chest, you should not trust people who are unfamiliar with the ways of making and managing money to advise you on where to put and invest your hard-earned money. This brings me to the fourth gold law. Gold slips away from the man who invests it in businesses or purposes with which he is unfamiliar or which are not approved by those skilled in its keeping. I believe the best way to demonstrate this point is with the assistance of my friend John. So John has been following and practicing the first law of gold for a year and has saved a significant amount of money, a total of $10,000. So my friend John is a pretty smart guy. He reads a couple of books a year and spends his free time watching TV and YouTube videos about his favorite subject, investing and making money. Although, as previously stated, John is a smart guy, he has a serious investing flaw, which we'll call his Achilles heel. These are the kinds of investments that John and many other poor people make. They jump on a good investment the moment they hear it on TV or radio. You've heard it all before. This is one real estate opportunity you can't afford to miss or invest in because it's too big to fail. And 2 months later, guess what? The fundamental rule to follow when investing is simple. If you don't understand it, don't invest in it. Or, as the third law suggests, seek advice from wise men in the business of keeping and making money. Instead of investing in bad stocks and real estate, John should have done this. Instead, he should have sought the advice of someone successful who was making money in real estate or stock investing. So now my friend John is broke and only has about $500 in the bank, but all hope is not lost. In his despair, he devises a brilliant plan to recoup his losses and then some. His plan is simple, brilliant, and cunning. In his opinion, it cannot fail. John intends to travel to Vegas, the gambling capital of the world, to wager on a few games and recoup his losses. He is certain that he can recoup his investment and then some, which brings me to the fifth law of gold. Gold flees the man who would force it to impossible earnings, or who follows the alluring advice of tricksters and schemers, or who trusts it to his own inexperienced and romantic investment desires. You see, in John's attempt to recoup his losses, he believed that gambling would be the quickest and easiest way to do so. Although some people do make a lot of money gambling, it wasn't John's lucky day. That year, my friend John learned 2 crucial lessons. To begin with, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Second, there is no quick way to become wealthy. The premise of the book is the lessons that Arkad taught his friends, and they are the lessons of wealth-building habits that I believe every wealthy person has followed to accumulate wealth. These lessons have helped millions of people become financially stable and wealthy, and I believe they will help you build a solid financial foundation. With that being said, that's all for today. Thank you for spending some time with us. If you found this video interesting, make sure to hit the like button and the notification bell and subscribe to our channel to get access to more interesting videos from us. Till next time.